provided by Thomas Allgaier and Frennis, based on the most relevant posts on LinkedIn about field marketing in CW 2627. Frennis is a B2B market research company working with enterprises to optimize their campaigns with account and executive insights far beyond AI. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into the top field marketing trends that we've seen bubbling up on LinkedIn over the last couple of weeks.
That's right. And we're not just, listing things off. We really want to unpack these insights for you. Think actionable strategies, maybe some surprising shifts. It's definitely geared towards B2B marketing pros looking for that edge.
Okay, so let's get into it. The big picture narrative coming through loud and clear from these posts is, well, it's this fundamental shift in field marketing. It's moving away from just presence towards real measurable performance.
Yeah, performance and strategy. And what's really interesting is seeing how these sort of reflective post-event frameworks are catching on. It feels like marketers are finally prioritizing proper audits, benchmarks, getting serious about measurement. Like Kate Chappelle makes a great point. She says event ROI actually starts way before the event. It's all in the strategic planning, having clear intent from the get-go.
Okay.
And Dr. Blessing and Akimio kind of builds on that, stressing how you need to design events with intention so they align with business goals, create memorable experiences, and, crucially, you can measure the outcomes. Just turning up isn't the win anymore.
That feels like a really significant point, a shift towards, well, accountability, right? So if ROI starts before the event, how does that change how we even define success? Beyond just counting heads.
Well, that's exactly it. And Killian Moyles actually argues that maybe traditional ROI isn't even the only measure for events. He talks about focusing on, say, return on objectives ROA, or even return on experience ROA.
ROA, return on experience, okay.
Yeah, to capture that broader value. And KDM agrees, suggesting that measuring ROE alongside ROI gives you a much richer picture. It captures the emotional impact, the attendee satisfaction, the stuff that's harder to quantify but still really important.
That makes intuitive sense. But practically speaking, tracking these newer metrics, ROE, ROO, how can marketers actually do that effectively? It feels a bit less concrete than just attendance.
It can seem that way, but Nicola Wartnaby shared this really comprehensive list of B2B event metrics. It shows just how much you can track beyond attendance, things like pipeline value attributed to the event, dwell time at certain booths, even social media activity. And this is a crucial bit of advice from Alexandra Panikina. Event tech alone won't cut it for proving ROI.
Yeah.
You can have the fanciest platform, but if that data just sits there...
Right, it's isolated.
Exactly. Her point is you have to integrate that event data into your main marketing and sales systems. Think HubSpot, Salesforce, whatever you use. That's how you get true alignment, connecting event engagement directly to the CRM to the sales pipeline. That's how you see the real impact on deals.
So it all comes back to making pipeline growth the absolute North Star. That's what Giovanna Slan and Kelsey Voss were highlighting too, wasn't it? Moving past those vanity metrics.
Precisely. Focus on what moves the needle for the business. But, achieving that kind of impact isn't just about picking the right metrics. It also requires a pretty fundamental shift in how the whole event planning process works.
Ah, okay. So how does that play out?
Well, Kayla Drake talks about this transforming event planning from being reactive, last-minute scrambles, to being proactive. It's about building repeatable systems, standard processes.
Like a playbook.
Exactly, like a playbook. So it becomes a predictable engine that consistently delivers on that pipeline goal rather than, reinventing the wheel every single time. More like that finely tuned machine you mentioned, a less like chaos management.
Okay, so moving on to our second big theme, events. They've really cemented themselves as the anchor for a lot of B2B field strategies now, haven't they? Especially focusing on maybe leaner formats, but definitely with measurable lead outcomes in mind.
Yeah, definitely.
But the conversation seems to be shifting. It's not just about doing events anymore. It's about how you make them genuinely unforgettable experiences. Yes. I saw Stephanie Marone had some really practical insights on that, especially around maximizing ROI after the event, the follow-up.
Follow-up is key.
Totally. She mentioned things like following up fast with specific context, not generic stuff, re-engaging the no-shows, giving your sales teams proper tools for follow-up, even planning your LinkedIn activity around the event in advance. It's like the event is just the midpoint.
That's a great way to put it. And building on that, Ian Morrison, who's got something like 35 years in event management, so he knows his stuff. He really hammers home that planning is the antidote to chaos.
Yes, I bet he's seen some chaos.
Oh, I'm sure. But his point is, Clear briefings, assigned responsibilities, meticulous planning up front.
Mhm.
That's what makes the difference between smooth execution and, well, disaster.
And what about the actual interactions at these events? Barry Rodriguez had a really good point about B2B networking events. He said they're fundamentally about relationship building, not instant sales pitches.
That's so important. Slowing down the sale.
Yeah, and he stressed preparing your ideal customer profile beforehand, so you actually focus on building the right relationships, not just collecting cards.
And Joel Steele talked about making events more interactive, moving away from just passive listening. Things like, live Q&As, polls, even gamified challenges. Trying to boost that engagement and make the information stick.
That definitely sounds more engaging. But look, the market is crowded. Everyone's doing events. How do you make yours genuinely unmissable? What's the secret?
Well, Paula's Mina Mejia had some really good thoughts on this. Make it unique, maybe an unexpected venue, a surprising speaker, give people plenty of notice, really curate that guest list so it's relevant for everyone.
Okay, curation is key.
And interestingly, she also said, be transparent about any pitch, don't try to hide it. Apparently, being upfront builds trust and ensures the people who come are genuinely interested in what you have to offer.
That's counterintuitive, but makes sense. Okay, what about the physical space, like a trade show booth? How do you make that stand out from the crowd?
Michael Kurlick's take is that a memorable booth isn't just about flashy graphics or, handing out cheap swag. It's about crafting an experience that people actually remember.
An experience, right.
Yeah, creating a moment.
Right.
And Zedia Lang kind of echoes that, talking about using dynamic branding like LED displays, interactive tech to really light up the show floor and grab attention in a meaningful way.
So it sounds like this is all part of that bigger shift Romy Alexander mentioned, drawing on Julia Solaris's ideas, that seismic shift, she called it, from just delivering content to focusing on experience and connection.
Exactly. It changes how you design and market everything. And Dave Gerhardt's observation fits right in here, too. He could events the hottest channel post-COVID, specifically for those in-person connections people were craving.
Right, that human element.
Definitely. And tech can help smooth the way. Nicholas Sirkia, for instance, shared this cool automated business card solution. You just snap a picture and it pulls the info, enriches the data, can send personalized follow-ups, and integrates it all with your CRM. Takes the friction out of lead capture.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about events specifically, but this whole idea of experience, it feels bigger than just events, right? Is this bleeding into other marketing channels too?
Oh, absolutely. Dan Keene George draws a really clear line. True experiential marketing isn't just a branded pop-up shop. It's about creating genuinely unforgettable, immersive environments.
Immersive, okay.
And Salcolt puts it really powerfully. He says experiential marketing, when it's done right, isn't just marketing. It's a cultural moment.
Yeah.
It's a memory. It earns buzz because it makes people feel something.
Wow, a cultural moment. That's a high bar.
It is. But look at Fredo's campaign for their Cuddle Sleep pillow that he mentioned. They used QR codes, built mystery, leveraged social media, got massive organic traffic just by creating intrigue and a shareable experience.
Right.
Or Oliver McAteer discussed that Goldfish Cracker event, the Goldfish Retrieval Service car wash. Silly, maybe, but memorable. A real-life brand interaction. These create stories.
Creating stories and feelings, that's powerful. But thinking about the bigger picture, what about things like sustainability? Inclusivity. Are those becoming part of this unforgettable experience checklist?
They have to be, increasingly. Connor Bryant noted that festivals seem way ahead on sustainability compared to MICE events, meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions, which is basically the core B2B event world. He sees that as a big missed opportunity.
Lagging behind.
Yeah. And Shannon Warfield provided a great framework for inclusive events, stressing it needs proactive planning right from the start. Build accessibility into the actual budget. Don't make it an afterthought. Design agendas that are human-centered. It has to be baked in, not bolted on.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit for our final theme. How field marketing really gets its power boost through deep local relevance and also through impactful partnerships. This feels key for cutting through the noise.
Absolutely critical. Daniel Bateman offered some really specific tips for B2B marketing and events in China, for example. He talked about needing truly localized branding, doing pre-marketing on local platforms like WeChat, having a local team on the ground, even using QR codes effectively with incentives. You can't just copy-paste your strategy.
Right, localization is crucial there. But how does that idea of local relevance play out more broadly, say in different regions or even just specific communities?
Well, Michelle E. Henry put it nicely. She said effective regional marketing isn't just about volume. It's about building relevance, understanding the local nuances, having that proximity.
Relevance through proximity. Okay.
And Dan LaTaraka used a great analogy from sports marketing. He talked about how regional and cultural identity creates this incredibly strong bond between a team and its fans, win or lose. And he argued that principle applies to any brand trying to connect deeply with a specific audience. Tap into that shared identity.
That's a powerful connection. Okay, sticking with the local theme, physical stuff. Giveaways, merchandise, is that still a thing? And how do brands handle it smartly?
It's still a thing, but it needs to be thoughtful. Beth Jackson gave some practical UK tax advice. Branded merch can be deductible if it meets certain rules, like being under 50 pounds, not food or drink. But Amanda Whipkey-McMaster added a really important layer. Elevate the experience with swag that's sustainable and guilt-free.
Guilt-free swag, I like that.
Yeah, stuff that actually echoes the brand's values. Think useful, quality items that resonate, not just more plastic heading for the landfill.
Makes sense. Okay, and the other part of this theme, collaboration. How are partnerships making field marketing more impactful?
We saw some interesting insights from C-level AI networking events. What made them stand out? Co-promoting with local partners was a big one. Taking that global approach, blending global thought leaders with respected local speakers.
Local, right.
Yeah, and actively promoting diversity in their speaker lineup, too. These partnerships help bring in the right people, build credibility fast.
So it sounds like partnerships have a much broader strategic role than just, say, co-hosting an event.
Oh, definitely. Mike Gunawan listed his top factors for trade show success, and collaboration with industry associations and strategic sponsorship sales were right up there. These partnerships give you access, insights, content, promotional reach. They basically act as an extension of your own field marketing team.
Okay, interesting. And how does this connect back to that trend we talked about earlier, the move towards more focused, maybe smaller interactions? Do partnerships fit with micro events too?
Yeah, perfectly, actually. Matt Ammerberg and Ashley Cook were talking about why micro events are gaining traction. Their argument is that huge, sprawling events often lack focus, right? So people are shifting towards smaller, curated dinners, breakfasts.
More intimate settings.
Exactly, for genuine engagement, real conversations, and clearer business value. And Jonathan Kazarian adds to this. He suggests staging these local face-to-face field events specifically to build trust and create advocates first.
Build trust locally.
Right. And then you can leverage those advocates, that trust, to help fill your bigger flagship events later. It's a strategy of building momentum from the ground up, one meaningful, often partner-supported interaction at a time. So if you enjoyed this deep dive, remember, new episodes drop every 2 weeks.
And definitely check out our other editions too. We cover account-based marketing, go-to-market, channel marketing, MarTech, social selling, and AI in B2B marketing.
We've talked a lot today about this dual focus in the industry that push towards hard, measurable ROI, but also this drive to create truly unforgettable experiences.
So maybe something for you to think about in your own B2B marketing efforts. How do you strike that balance between the drive for those quantifiable metrics and the often intangible value of creating something genuinely memorable?
Yeah, what's the real weight you give to a lasting memory within your overall marketing strategy?
Definitely food for thought. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our future deep dives.